Thank you for your time with us. So I think now we're going to be bringing on Her Grace Ishvari. Are you with us, Ishvari?
Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari.
Yes, I am.
Glad to meet you. My name is Deva Madhavadas.
Hare Krishna. Nice to meet you.
Where are you coming from?
I'm in Ottawa, Russell, to be exact. Russell.
Okay, so neither of us are physically in Europe, but we're going to do some Manasa Seva and go over to the European continent and peruse the content that the devotees have created for us there to help celebrate World Gita Day. What do you do there in Ottawa, Ishwari?
I think you know him well, but I work with Krishna Dulal Prabhu. I work at his Montessori school. Yeah.
That's such a sweet project. That's Russell, right? Is the name of the little town?
Russell, yeah.
Yeah, I have affection. I spoke with Krishna Dulal Prabhu sometime last year, and I also serve in a relatively small place, Ypsilanti, Michigan. No one's ever heard of it, and probably no one will, but we have our little thing going on, and we're very satisfied, and we feel like we can do something for Prabhupada. Thanks to the efforts like World Gita Day, where we all get to connect and feel a part of the larger community. So I really appreciated hearing from Prabhu how you guys are also just a small group of devotees in a relatively anonymous place on the planet, but Mahaprabhu's movement is happening and thriving. You guys have a children's school and a couple other beautiful projects there.
Yes. It's
Jai.
truly amazing. Yeah, Jai. Will you be co-hosting with me?
We're hosting right now. We're together, we're on, and we're in Europe, believe it or not. And now we're going to, we can bring up our first presenter. His name is Divyanam Prabhu, and he's going to do the introduction for the European Yatra. And Europe is of course, a very diverse place in itself. And so we're going to hear from many different countries within Europe today, but we'll turn it over to Divyanam Prabhu first.
Hare Krishna, Deva Madhav Prabhu, Ishwari Keshri Mataji, Anukula Prabhu, Shamvini Mataji, and everybody else, and all our audiences from all around the world. Thank you for bringing the channel now down to Europe. Very grateful to be with all of you today. So it's really a true honor and a privilege to be able to present Europe to all of you. Very briefly sharing with you a little bit of an impact which this wonderful literature Bhagavad Gita is making in Europe. Before I do that, I also wanted to mention that with me is a very dear friend, Raghavendra Prabhu, who's been very kindly helping us, assisting us and the global team in bringing the whole Europe together on this platform. So, I mean, I was just thinking about it today, that how this whole thing actually so wonderfully started by the blessings of Srila Prabhupada. And I was thinking that formerly literature like Sanskrit literature was not easily available, even in India. Some well-to-do people, and there were some copies in homes where people were really able to afford it. And the books were more or less the treasure of the Brahmanas, as we hear from our literature from our Goswamis, and often kept within the temple. However, coming from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, he made it a very deliberate attempt to try and take these books and print them in as many languages as possible. And he empowered A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, who then very carefully translated all the literatures, but very specifically the Bhagavad Gita. And now people are increasingly having a lot of trouble, as we see in the world, trying to relate with each other, try to connect with each other. And where Europe stands, we are now going through our third wave of this pandemic, which is really becoming, there is no endemic to it, there's no end to it, which in itself is quite amazing. But what has been very helpful is that Srila Prabhupada wanted all of us to be opportunists, and that's what everybody is working around the globe, especially in Europe, trying to spread this message of Bhagavad Gita wide and far. So I was connecting with some devotees in France, and there are attempts being made to really reach out to some senior people in France and really make the Bhagavad Gita one of the famous books, alongside many other literatures which may be there today. In Germany, people are going door to door, street to street. They have created special events around the World Gita Day, inviting people, just trying to share with them some knowledge of what Bhagavad Gita is, how it's been recognized by various universities, how this literature has read by the likes of Mahatma Gandhi, Albert Einstein, and more recently, we have seen some really amazing videos of some Hollywood celebrities. Like one of them is Will Smith, who talks about this. He's been reading this wonderful literature. So we can see the impact is really profound on Europe, and many people are embracing it. Just the very fact that there are over nearly 12 or 13 countries participating in this effort from the Europe is a testimony that how this Bhagavad Gita is actually making an impact. So I'm extremely grateful that we are able to collaborate through this wonderful platform and this wonderful day like the World Gita Day to be able to come together. In UK, especially, there is a lot of attempt has been made to not only print but profusely distribute this literature. So we had some really good success over the last Gita Giant, the World Gita Day, which we celebrated in UK, just as we know, and the whole world did on 14th. We, just a few devotees on a group, came up with this idea that let's distribute 1008 Bhagavad Gitas, and we started to put a name together like, okay, let's each do 10 and reach out to the people. And it's amazing, in a very short while, we had about over 65, 70 devotees came together, and we surpassed that 1000 Bhagavad Gitas just in a day, apart from what else was happening in the community. So that goes to shows that devotees and the followers of the Bhagavad Gita have this natural inclination to reach out to as many people as possible and share this transcendental knowledge with the people. So those were some of my comments around the side of the impact. I think it'll be nice. I've requested all the devotees and the leaders in the Europe to share some stories and experiences with us post this end of the month, where they've had some people who have really, their life have changed and has impacted. One little story I want to end with, which was shared with us recently by His Grace Sutapa Prabhu, who's been on streets over the last nearly 20 days now. He was hearing a lecture by a wonderful disciple of Srila Prabhupada, His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj, where Maharaj was constantly talking about that when you want to serve spiritual master, you have to serve it with one-pointed determination. And on many occasions in the talk, Maharaj kept bringing back to the same point, and Sutapa Prabhu was contemplating, and as he went out into the battlefield trying to share the Bhagavad Gita with everybody, he met with a man who actually came up to Sutapa Prabhu and said, "Oh wow, that's Bhagavad Gita. I've read Bhagavad Gita." And Sutapa Prabhu said, "Oh really? Have you read the whole thing?" And he said, "Yes, I've read the whole thing." And the next thing, Sutapa Prabhu asked him, "Okay, tell me your favorite verse." And the person turned around and said, "Eke Kuru Nandana." And that was like, Sutapa Prabhu said, this is just a confirmation that we have to dedicate our life to the Bhagavad Gita and to the instructions of the spiritual master. And that very story has become the highlight of us in the Europe. We've been sharing it, talking about it, and really trying to work hard on popularizing this literature, Bhagavad Gita, here in Europe. So I'd like to conclude on that story from my side and hand it back to Ishwari Keshavi Mataji or Deva Madhav Prabhu.
Thank you, Divyanam Prabhu. And to give you a little credit and let the devotees know whom they were hearing from, you're one of the Maharatis under the Supreme General Vaisheshika Prabhu. You're in charge of the whole European book distribution team, the One World Sankirtan team. And just by judging the efforts that happened during the Bhadra campaign, where there was a certain goal set and that was smashed, I'm excited to see what you guys are up to for this Gita Day effort. That was a really sweet story about the 1,000 books or so that went out just because of a little WhatsApp messaging. So thank you for all your efforts, Prabhu, and for sharing those realizations. I think up next we have some devotees from Denmark, and particularly one devotee named Vasant Prabhu, who's going to share with us some Sankirtan nectar. The Europeans historically within ISKCON might be the most famous of all the book distribution teams. They really, in the 80s especially, redefined what it meant to do big books. So excited to hear from these devotees today. My mistake. That was not book distribution from Denmark. That was a beautiful dance by a young devotee named Vrishni, who's a student at the Avanti schools in Europe. And she's been studying dance since the age of 4, which we can see she's really brought into her heart. And that was a dance depiction of Bhagavad Gita. My apologies, Vrishni. Ishvari, have you done any of that kind of dance before, Bharatanatyam, and expressing Krishna Lila through dance?
Never. I have a background in theatrical performance, but have been very fond of the art of Bharatanatyam. And I can recall a memory where Srila Prabhupada had encouraged, whatever the art is, whether it's dance, whether it's drama, then one should use it for Krishna. So it was very inspiring to see Vrishni use her artistic talents in that way.
Jai. Yeah, when I was watching the dance, sometimes militarists who are very good describe war as a dance. That's how they actually see it. Kshatriyas who love the battle,
yes.
they see it as a kind of dance, not this gruesome, difficult thing, but this beautiful, expressive thing. So it was nice to see Vrishni bringing the Gita to us as a dance. So now I think we'll go to the book distribution team in Denmark.
Book distribution actually is fun and easy. Easy.
And easy, yeah. Hare Krishna, my name is Mahabharat Das.
Hare Krishna, my name is Vasanta Das. Я сам из Украины, и я приехал в Данию 3 года назад.
Jeg er fra Danmark af, jeg har boet i Danmark de sidste 3 år.
This December, devotees of ISKCON set a goal to distribute 2.2 million Bhagavad Gitas all around the world.
So our Danish yatra decided to pledge 1,008 Bhagavad Gitas.
We have never before tried to distribute books going from door to door, but we decided, why not to try?
The interesting thing about spiritual knowledge is that the more you give, the more you get.
We are going mostly to student apartments, and we found that most of them are interested and actually they're taking the books.
So first day we distributed 5 books, the second day 15 books, and the third day 22 books.
We found that it's really important not just to distribute books, but actually to connect to the people. Take their phone numbers, visit them, hold them.
We hope everyone gets a chance to experience this bliss.
Okay.
That was sweet. Some ingenuity from the young men.
Yeah, what inspiring words from such dedicated Sankirtan devotees. And what stood out for me is when he said, "Why not try?" I think the mantra this year given by Shisheka Baru is assume it can be done, just encouraging everyone to make an attempt. And it looked like they were having fun. So
Totally. I was feeling a little ashamed because clearly they're in a cold climate. They weren't out in shorts and t-shirts. So I was thinking to myself, yeah, I've got no excuse.
Same. Next, we'll be hearing from His Grace Bhuta Bhavana Das, who is a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami. And he's a prolific speaker and preacher and mentor and a big part of the UK congregation. So we'll be hearing from him and hearing him share some motivational wisdom with us about the Gita.
Is one of the greatest gifts to humankind. And it's a great gift to humankind for a number of reasons. One of the greatest needs of human society is wisdom. There's constantly an emphasis on research, understanding, insight. Why? Because we want to understand the reality that we live in so that we can navigate that reality in a healthy way. One of the greatest gifts I've received from the Bhagavad Gita is the gift of understanding. In the Bhagavad Gita, there are certain lessons which are repeated. One of the lessons which are repeated by Krishna in this wonderful dialogue between him and the warrior Arjuna is the repetition of the need to live according to our nature. There's a huge industry in the world now which is all around purpose. People looking for their purpose. But the Bhagavad Gita addressed this over 5,000 years ago, when Arjuna, in his conversation with Krishna, learned that it is better to perform his own duty as a warrior than to try to be something that he is not. And it's a very, very wonderful lesson. I often think about this in terms of leadership development, in terms of community, in terms of productivity, how powerful, how much more successful, and how much more enthusiastic everyone would be if we were able to take the time to understand what are the gifts, what are the talents that I've been born with, which I can then invest in and develop. And then also, it brings about a deeper understanding about the formula for happiness. The Bhagavad Gita, one of its greatest gifts, is that in order to be happy, there are 2 formulas that we need to follow. One is the formula of how we live in this world, doing our worldly duty, but also a deeper formula. The formula of understanding that because my nature is spiritual, if I do not bring that spiritual dimension into my life, if I do not give that spiritual nourishment in my life through spiritual practices, then no matter what I do in the worldly sense, I'll always feel empty in the inner sense. So for me, those two lessons of the Bhagavad Gita are crucial. Who am I in the worldly sense? What are my talents and capabilities that I can offer to society? And who am I in the deepest sense? An individual who is by nature spiritual. As the saying goes, we're not humans having a spiritual experience, but we're spiritual beings having a human experience. These are just some of the gems in this wonderful Bhagavad Gita as it is.
Jai, always lovely hearing from Prabhu. He's when I sometimes you meet devotees and you realize this is someone who could be doing anything, but they're doing Krishna consciousness. And Vaisheshekha Prabhu, he's one such person. Bhuta Bhavana Prabhu is another such person. I meet them, I'm in their presence, I think they can do whatever they want, and that they've chosen to do Krishna consciousness then says something about the value of bhakti.
Right. And it was so nice to hear him personally reflect on the gems that he's received and taken with him from the Bhagavad Gita. And I think it's like an invitation for all of us to reflect, like what have I taken from Gita? What's something that's with me? Yeah.
Making it personal. Yeah, it's very easy to fall into the kind of rote lines and religious tropes around scripture. Bhagavad Gita is good because Prabhupada said, and Krishna spoke it, and we forget that we are meant to and supposed to and must develop our own personal sense of why we love Krishna's conversation with Arjuna. So two devotees actually, who we're going to hear from next, Radha Govinda and Kishori, are two of the leaders in the School of Bhakti, which is a beautiful creative effort to share Krishna consciousness and the message of Bhagavad Gita with a new generation of people in all kinds of creative ways. So I'm excited to hear what they have to share with us here.
I've been worried about you and the spiritual stuff. You're just wasting your time with this wishy-washy fluff. Get some booze, get some beer, party wild in the buff. Hit the sack, get some crack, let it loose and live it up.
Listen to me, baby, don't you worry about me. I'm fine living life and so happy, don't you see? It's not wishy-washy bluff, it's the one reality. Let it go, take it slow, I'm just trying to find me.
Hey there, stop sleeping like a bear. You're missing out, I swear. Listen, give up your drink affair or end up like a bear.
You don't want that now, do you?
I really love parties and just chilling in the pub, getting smashed off my face, candy flipping in the club. I get wasted and drunk and spend the night in naked stub. It's not a bad life, I'm just trying to live it up.
You use up all your dough getting wasted and mashed, and that Nikki doesn't love you, she's just stacking all your cash. And then you gotta pay the bills and work like an ass. If you're following the crowd, you'll just end up in the trash.
Hey there, stop working like an ass, just following the mass. Listen, don't waste your life away just to satisfy your lust.
She probably doesn't love you anyway.
I hear what you say, but what am I to do? All the world's doing it, so it's gotta be true. Sex, money, drugs is what they all pursue, and they say YOLO dude, when you're dead you just poo.
Stop following the crowd and just think of the goal. This life is a lesson of the science of the soul. You've been here before and you've seen it all, so why are you still here, stuck in the loophole?
Hey there, stop living like an ape. Your mind's so out of shape. Listen to the wisdom on the stage. Stop trying to escape.
Your mind's like a monkey, man. You've got to control it.
Hey there, stop living like an ox and think outside the box. Oh yeah. Listen to the wisdom and the talks. It'll blow off both your socks.
Come on, dude. There's more to life than just Doritos.
Hey there, stop living like a sheep, just moving with the herd, the herd. Listen, now wake up from your sleep, and let's get out of here. Let's go.
Hi there, thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel, Wisdom of the Yogis.
Bravo.
That was fun. I like how they brought lass, mass, and ass. Tied them all together. It was
Super
good.
catchy and entertaining. And yeah, the chorus, like, yeah.
Reminding us that we don't have to take ourselves too seriously to practice a serious spiritual life.
Exactly. I will definitely be following them on Instagram.
Yeah. Like, follow, share, not only their channel, but also for World Gita Day, this World Sankirtan team.
Definitely.
It's a global effort, and we're all doing our small part to reach this huge goal of 2.2 million Bhagavad Gitas offered to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, Panchatattva, Sri Krishna for their pleasure.
Haribol.
Jai.
Next, we'll be hearing from Kishori Jani Mataji, who is a famous kirtaneer and shares the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita through her social media platform. So she'll be sharing a little bit with us right now.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Happy Gita Jayanti. Happy World Gita Day to you all. My name is Kishori Jani, and I just wanted to share a little message of hope for any of us that are already accustomed to the Gita, and for those of us that have never actually picked it up to explore what's in there. I just thought I would share that there's something for all of us in the Bhagavad Gita. No matter where we are on our spiritual journey, in our relationship with the divine, in our relationship with Krishna, the Supreme Person, there's something for each and every one of us. And that is truly the beauty and the profundity, the profound wisdom that's available in the Gita, that there is a solution, there is an answer for every possible question that we could have. You know, I know it sounds a bit too good to be true, but that's how I feel. My experience of the Gita has been that no matter where I have been in life, whether it's an issue of my own mental well-being, or whether it's an issue of raising children, or relationships with other people around me, friends and family, or work issues, no matter what I'm going through on a personal level, if I have a question that I really want an answer to, if I meditate on it and I open up the Gita, there's some magic that happens, and somehow the solution, Krishna provides that solution, because it truly is like a gift from him to us, from our Creator, from our beloved Lord. He has given us this gift to all humankind, but specifically to those who are searching, to those who want to build a relationship with him. It's a conversation between two best friends, Krishna and Arjuna, and you can see that the relationship is, as it unfolds, there is love there is trust, there is so much affection on both sides, that when you get this wisdom, you feel that same affection. You feel sheltered and nourished and taken care of. So not just is the Gita a huge treasure chest of wisdom, of knowledge, it is also just our ultimate shelter. It's like having a best friend, someone who's always there for us and can truly understand us. Interesting, because the more we give ourselves to the Gita, to this wisdom, the more is revealed to us. Krishna reveals himself in different layers. So I would really urge you that if you've never picked up the Gita, or even if you have, we can always just keep going. It's like churning the milk and making it more and more condensed. The more we read, the more gets revealed to us. So I invite everyone on this journey to go deeper, to even start the journey to understand the Gita and invite it into our lives. And as we can't think of a better time, the need of the hour truly is deep connection. And that is what the Bhagavad Gita provides in a very deep and profound way. So please take up this opportunity. This wonderful festival is being put on, and find that connection that we're all hankering and searching for. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Kishori Jani. I appreciated how she brought out the Gita as something we can go back to again and again. And it reminded me of a verse that Krishna, he gives Arjuna this encouragement: make me your mind, intelligence, faith, and refuge. And I've always enjoyed contemplating the nuances between what does it mean to make this information my mind, my intelligence, my faith, and my refuge? What's the distinction there? And refuge is like when there's nothing else, nowhere else, no one else that I can think of, I go there for my shelter.
Yes, and I loved everything she said was so heartfelt. She was talking with her hands on her heart and saying, you know, the Gita was like her best friend. And you can hug the book.
You can hug the Gita.
Feel that, yeah, you can feel the reciprocation from the Gita, from Krishna's words. So very beautiful.
Reminds, any interaction with the Gita, we hear this, that Prabhupada, they hold the book, then they get benefit. And it's not something, it's not like, it's because they're relating to Krishna as a person through that vision of him, even as abstracted as their own consciousness might be. There's Krishna. Mother Nidra, a famous book distributor here in North America in Denver, she's Prabhupada's disciple, and she's distributed books every day for the last 45 years. And it's not an exaggeration. It's literally every day. And when she has her Rolly book bag with her, she just puts a little Bhagavad Gita right on the handle, so that anyone who's walking by, even if she's not able to speak with them, still they're getting that vision of Krishna in the form of his Bhagavad Gita.
That's incredible. All these innovative ways to connect people with the Gita.
Simple for the simple, right? So speaking of everyone who can connect, we're now going to hear from some children from the Gurukul, which is connected with Bhaktivedanta Manor over in London. And these are going to be young people sharing their own realizations and appreciations of particular verses in the Bhagavad Gita. So it's for everyone. Even a child can do it, as Prabhupada would tell us. So we're excited to hear from the children of the Gurukul at Bhaktivedanta Manor.
This is a short video on the Bhagavad Gita by children from Gurukula, the Hare Krishna Primary School, without pre-preparation.
Bhoktaryam Yatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Sudram Sarvabhutanam Natva Mam Satin Rachati.
This is chapter 5, verse 29. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor of and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. This is what Srila Prabhupada says about this verse. The conditioned souls within the clutches of the illusory energy are all anxious to obtain peace in the material world. But they do not know the formula for peace, which is explained in this part of the Bhagavad Gita.
Hare Krishna Mohini, Hare Krishna Vasudev. Can you please tell us what this verse might mean to you?
This verse means to me that Krishna is in everyone and about peace.
And Mohini, what about you? What does it mean to you?
I think it means to me that we should be kind to others and don't be rude or anything.
Thank you.
At home, to study the Bhagavad Gita, I have a deck of cards called the Gita deck, and I pick one up almost every day, and I try and read that verse and discuss it with my mom or my dad sometimes, and that really helps me to learn more about the Bhagavad Gita.
Okay. Do you know why you're studying this verse at the moment?
We do, and it's because our focus in December this month is peace.
Mohini, how do you learn the Bhagavad Gita verses?
I learn the Bhagavad Gita that, like, I think of the verse I want to learn. I go to the page in the Bhagavad Gita, and then learn the verse line by line by heart, and then do the same thing with the translation.
Miti Island, Bhagavad Gita.
Szerintem a Bhagavad Gita azt jelenti, hogy kedvesebb legyünk egymásnak, és hogy kedves legyünk mindenkinek, és ne legyen senki rossz, vagy valami.
Hare Krishna Vedant and Hare Krishna Janvi.
Hare Krishna.
Today we're talking about Bhagavad Gita. So can you tell me please, what is the Bhagavad Gita?
The Bhagavad Gita is the song of God, and Krishna spoke it to Arjuna to enlighten him on the battlefield to enlighten him to fight against his cousins.
So why were the cousins fighting?
Duryodhana wanted the kingdom, which was rightfully the Pandavas. So the Pandavas said that they'll have half the kingdom, but Duryodhana does not like the Pandavas, which are their cousins. So he challenged them a fight. So the Pandavas agreed to the fight.
Janavi, you're from Botswana. Can you tell me about how you learned Bhagavad Gita back there in Botswana?
We used to go to the temple on Saturday morning, at least before Guru Puja, 15-20 minutes. We got homework from verses from the Bhagavad Gita, and one of them was 9.26, and we did a little play on it. There was Krishna and Balaram at the temple, and a poor man came and he offered just a flower because he had nothing else and he had devotion to give the flower. But then there was a rich man, like, with loads of wealth, and he wanted to show how wealthy he was and give lots of money to the temple. And then in their dreams, it was like Krishna came to him, and it's like, you didn't have to give me all of that. All I need is devotion. I don't need like all the wealth or anything. I can appreciate just water or a flower only if it's anything, if it's worship, if it's offered with devotion.
So would you like to say this verse about the fruit, the flower, and devotion?
Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktya upayatam asnami prayatatmana. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I will accept it.
Thank you. And can you tell me, Vedant, what this verse kind of means to you?
You don't have to give a lot to Krishna. All you have to give is love and devotion. You can give it through a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water. Anything little is fine. You can also give big things, but it has to be with love and devotion, and Krishna will accept it.
Okay, thank you.
Whenever I have any problems, the Bhagavad Gita helps me to understand more about why this is happening and how I can help myself feel better and make myself feel more connected.
Tadviti paripratena pariprasnena sedaya upadekshanti jnanam jnanina statra darshinaha Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Acquire from him so bliss as me, and render service unto him.
The self-reliant soul can impart knowledge unto you.
Wow, that's amazing.
He has seen the truth.
Because we did it in our play also.
You did this in your play?
Yeah, Tajwati Harry Potter. So like, Goro said, how do we treat a spiritual master? Tajwati Harry Potter na Pari Prashnena Sevaya Upadekshanti De Jnanam Jnani Nastapadharashana. Just try to approach the spiritual. Just learn. No,
Just try to learn the truth.
Just learn. Just
Try to learn the truth.
just learn.
Just try to learn the...
Oh, okay. So excellent. So is there anything that you've learned from this verse?
Yes. To like, you should have a spiritual master because it can guide you anywhere.
Yeah, it guides you. It helps you. It helps you cross the stormy ocean.
Is it?
Wow.
I'll hold it up like this.
Okay.
This picture, not that one, this one, with the deer. This picture talks about Krishna. Goro and Puri said, do you want to read what is here?
Yeah. On the bottom. Always think of me and become my devotee.
Worship me
and offer your homage unto me.
This talks about Krishna in the forest.
Not this one.
This talks about Krishna in the forest, and like if you serve him and take shelter of his lotus.
Read the Bhagavad Gita every day because it can be good for your soul.
Okay, go ahead.
As fontos elolvasni a Bhagavad Gitát, mert az jó a lelkédnek.
Oh, Goro, what language is that?
And that's mine. Hungarian.
Hungarian.
That's
Is
not just that.
and you have a Bhagavad Gita at home that's in the Hungarian language?
No.
No? It's all English. Do you read at home English? Okay, excellent.
And
It means if you read the whole of the Bhagavad Gita each day, chapters and chapters, you will never need to die. You'll go back to Godhead. And this book is very beautiful.
So do you all have Bhagavad Gita at home?
Yes, I have a Bhagavad Gita, just the same.
my dad has a Bhagavad Gita at home. Krishna's our Lord. And I have the Bhagavad Gita at home, and we keep it safe on the altar, and we don't put it on the floor or throw it or putting it in dirty places.
If you'd like to find out more about Gurukula, please visit gurukula.org.uk. Thank you for watching our video on Bhagavad Gita.
Incredible.
20 more minutes. That was super cute and also inspiring.
Very inspiring. You could just feel the eagerness and enthusiasm they had to share Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, they want to flex their Krishna knowledge, and it's really cute.
They must be reading chapters and chapters and chapters. Moving on to the ISKCON Prison Ministry,
Great.
which facilitates an ecstatic outreach preaching program, bringing the light of Krishna into the most darkest places under the guidance of His Holiness Chandramauli Swami. And they're receiving books, magazines, beads, the Maha Mantra, correspondence with devotees. Let's hear more about these phenomenal efforts.
That was touching. Prison ministry, for those that may be unfamiliar, is an excellent service to connect to if you feel like you don't have an opportunity to go out as often as you'd like, or maybe feel uncomfortable approaching others, strangers, so to speak. These folks are literally sitting, and they're sitting all day, and they're having time to contemplate what's their life about and how could it be better. And when they get a Gita, when they get Prabhupada's books, when a devotee comes and visits them, it truly changes their life. They're ready to be impacted in that way. They want to be impacted in that way. We have one devotee here nearby. His name is Chandrasekhar Prabhu. He's a Prabhupada disciple, and he's been Chandramali Maharaj's right-hand man. He's written over 30,000 letters to prisoners. And when you visit him, he has so many beautiful drawings and poems from prisoners who have sent him over the years, their appreciations of Krishna and Prabhupada's wisdom that he's bringing through this Bhagavad Gita. So big shout out to the prison ministry anywhere in the world, anyone anywhere in the world who feels inspired to try to distribute Prabhupada's books, and you're not quite sure, you don't feel comfortable again as an outgoing, gregarious person, how to do it. The prison ministry is lazy intelligent. It's the most practically powerful way to get the books into the hands of somebody who's ready to read them. Okay, now I think we're going to go to Radhadesh, from a prison to a castle, anywhere in between. Krishna's wisdom is poignant and important. So we're going to hear from Yadurani over in Radhadesh, who helps attract different people to come visit the beautiful grounds that they have at the temple there, and of course connect to the wisdom of the Gita.
Bangladesh is unique in a sense that we have a lot of visitors coming here, and then we are trying to use this fact to attract people to come in contact with Bhagavad Gita. The tour guide is taking the visitors to several places in the castles. At a certain point, he's offering them the Bhagavad Gita. We have a dedicated room which is for Bhagavad Gita, exhibiting a beautiful print, big print of the book. that people can experience the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita in an illustrated way and through the paintings and diagrams. Books are also offered in the restaurant for people who are coming to take Prasadam, and also in the boutique where people are coming to buy souvenirs or whatever they like. There's also a beautiful presentation of the books where they can choose whatever is attractive for them. Another system of distribution is the smart box. There are boxes with books, and people can go through them, and then they can pick up whatever they like and put the donation in there, which is very easy to do, and it's working well. Another idea which is working well is we are using the help of the congregation that are living in different places in the country to place Bhagavad Gitas in the street libraries. These books are placed, and the people who are passing by and looking at these boxes, they pick up the books, and it seems to be very popular. People are very eagerly taking them, and we're very happy about the system. Another way of distributing the books is to go door to door and show the books to people and invite them to come to the temple and participate in the events or whatever they wish. A unique idea of what is the Gita path, where people can go through the forest, and there they can find boards of illustrated verses from Bhagavad Gita. They can read and contemplate on that while they're walking. A unique facility we have here, just across the street, is the Bhaktivedanta Library Services, where a large variety of Vaishnava literature is presented there, and then this shop is also providing a huge amount of books to devotees or distributing books in the area, on the countries, or actually all over the world.
Just getting to read Prabhupada's books and practice them, it makes all the bhakti yoga come to life. That's what I feel. It gives the understanding of devotional service. So it's very necessary. The devotional service without studying Srila Prabhupada's books, it's only half of the job. But when you actually also study Srila Prabhupada's books, which is one of the main limbs of bhakti, then you get to the spiritual life really comes to life. That is my experience.
When I came to the library, I took a book from Srila Prabhupada, and when I saw on the back his picture, it really touched my heart, and I took the book to home, and that same day I started to read the book, and lots of things about karma were in the site, so I understood that very clearly. And the next day I became a vegetarian directly, and so I thank Srila Prabhupada for this gift he gave me to start Bhakti Yoga. Hare Krishna.
Okay, I read Srila Prabhupada's books, and then I decided this is what I want to do with my life. So I came to this Krishna conscious movement, and I started trying to follow all the instructions. And I'm still trying. I'm still reading Prabhupada's books. Still don't understand it fully.
My sense, it was meeting the devotees and meeting the Bhagavad Gita. It was meeting Krishna and meeting God personally. It changed my whole life from ignorance to knowledge, and being in loving connection to God, being in loving connection to the devotees, and the knowledge made my life senseful and blissful. And now I'm happily reading the Bhagavad Gita every day every single day reading from the Krishna book, every day reading from the Bhagavad Gita. And it's a very wonderful fundament for a good life.
Haribo.
Radha Dam Ki Jai.
Jai. So many innovative ways to distribute the books, like those street boxes were really neat. And I think that would allow the inquisitive person to, like, you know, seek out the knowledge, like, genuinely. And it's amazing.
Yeah, beautiful.
Next, we're going to be hearing from the School of Bhakti, which is an educational hub. What did you say?
I said Jai. Well, the video that we saw was from them earlier with the dancing and the animal heads and the hip hop.
Right. And this time we'll be viewing a trailer about the Gita life course.
Oh, good.
So, yeah.
What do Albert Einstein, Will Smith and Mahatma Gandhi all have in common? The answer is they have all read, been deeply inspired by and found deep inner strength from the Bhagavad Gita. This 5,000-year-old ancient text is as relevant today as when it was first spoken. It covers topics ranging from religion to relationships, science to sociology, leadership to lifestyle management. That said, if you've ever tried to read it, you've probably discovered that mining those gems of wisdom on your own can be hard work. That's why here at the School of Bhakti we put together the Gita Life course so that we can share Gita wisdom in a relevant, practical and inspirational way. The Gita Life course will provide a chapter-by-chapter summary, an explanation of the key themes and a plethora of practical life lessons.
Beautiful.
Gita for life. Yes.
Good to know that that's out there and available, because I think many devotees feel a little uncomfortable handing someone a Gita and then worrying now who's going to help them take the next step, because as we all know, without the guidance of people who have inculcated the knowledge, it's very difficult to bring it into our own life. So all glories to that effort from the devotees over at the School of Bhakti, offering this lifestyle course based around the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita. For our last segment here in Europe, we're going to go back to the children and hear some verses recited from some young people nearby London.
Hi Krishna everyone, my name is Keshav and today I'm going to be saying 2 verses from the Bhagavad Gita. I hope you enjoy. 2.7 Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava Pritami tvam dharma sambhuddha chitta Yachayashin nishitam bhushitam me Shishyasite hamsadi mam tvam papamam. Translation. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple, a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me.
O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress, and their disappearances in due course, are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O Sion of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed.
Hello everyone, I will recite a verse from Bhagavad Gita 9:22. Ananya chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. The translation is, but those who worship my with devotion and meditate on my transcendental form, I carry what they lack and preserve what they have.
For those.
Bhagavad Gita 2.13. Translation.
As the soul passes from this body to holy, in similar way, the soul changes the body when we die. Sober person,
Keshav and all the reciters, that was beautiful.
Cute.
Such sounds.
Okay, we are concluded with Europe, and that was a beautiful presentation. I haven't gotten to spend much time there myself, but I feel more excited to do so one day by Krishna's mercy. And I'm also very happy, Ishwari, that we got to connect. Thank you for spending some time with us here in Europe.
Yes. Thank you for having me.